Welcome back to another episode of Hello Ladies, where feminism meets pro wrestling. We are your hostesses with the mostesses. I think I said that right this time.
Nailed it.
I am Sabrina.
And I'm MJ.
And we're going to talk about, there's been stuff happening in wrestling, believe it or not. And like, mostly good stuff. Mostly.
Yes.
You said that so scared and timid, like, yes?
Tony Khan's recent tweets came in my mind as soon as you said that.
Bold asshole.
Oh my God. I loved it so much. And I know everybody was ripping apart Tony in the comments, and I don't care. I was like, this is the greatest fucking thing ever. Please.
I mean, can you imagine if back in the Attitude Era, if Triple H and Shawn Michaels had Twitter?
Oh my God. Yes, exactly.
This doesn't even reach that level, like nowhere near. It was Tony Khan's birthday. He's probably having a good time. Had a few sippity sips of something, I'm sure. And can you imagine a Tony Khan birthday party? That would be like a good time, I think.
Yes, as the young kids say, lit. It would be quite lit.
Yeah, unless he's just like, it's my birthday. I get to sleep. The one
God,
day a year where I get sleep.
I really just feel like that man needs to like hibernate forever.
That sounds like you hate him.
No, I don't. After I
That
said, I was
man
like,
needs.
that's horrible. No, I loved, I love Tony Khan. Oh my God. I just feel so bad for him because I hate working for, like, when I have to work like 50 hours a week. It's a nightmare. And I can't even imagine him jet setting across the world, going one place to another, making big decisions. Like, that's a nightmare to me.
Yeah, agree. I mean, I'm sure the money helps, but
Yeah.
um, so Tony Khan though wasn't the only one that like so his tweets sent some waves about
Sure.
and some giggles. Something else that set a bunch of giggles about was Fastlane's press
Press conference.
conference. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeet.
Ooh.
I was so impressed with like Cody Rhodes apparently can really hold it together if he's had a few.
Yeah. And I'm it's on the internet too. Everybody's asking like, what are the libations? They're like, what were they partaking in? Because there's
Mhm.
been speculation about what it might have been, whether it was just alcohol or maybe some other fun party favors. We don't know. But that was the funniest goddamn thing I've ever seen.
Mhm.
I loved every second of it, and I also really loved that Triple H came on after to close out the press conference and was like, "That was the greatest." Like that, he was just like, "That was amazing," because
Yep.
I was wondering how he was going to respond to that.
What I think is also really cool is like speaking of, like Triple H now has full control of creative. So I'm sure he was also like, I'm not gonna get an angry call from Vince about this. Have at it, boys.
That's true. That's true.
This is like positive press for us, basically.
Yep. Agreed.
Because I mean, it also, if anything negative did come up, I'm sure he would have been like, our wrestlers had a few drinks and were yelling yeet and were personable and charming. A now former wrestler of AEW ran down a company and the boss in front of him while sober. I'm sure that's immediately where Triple H would have gone.
I mean, on that same note, too, did you see the most recent rumblings through the wrestling world about how WWE has said that they don't want Punk, like that I don't know, it's like, how, of course, headlines get spun in every which way. And then when you really dig into it, you're like, they don't know anything. The
Yeah.
way that they're spinning it right now is that they're making it really seem like Punk reached out and that they shot him down, And it's like, the over dramatization is so funny because we don't even know, did Punk even reach out? Was there even talks about this to begin with? But as of right now, it sounds like, per the dirt sheet rumblings, that there's nothing happening with Punk in WWE.
Yeah. And like honestly, I'm not sure that Punk would want to like jump right back into wrestling. Like he might be like, I want a cool down period for myself.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, Triple H is running creative now, but him and Punk didn't get along that well. But he's still like not, I mean, it said that they've mended that fence or whatever, but I'm sure like Punk has second thoughts about going back to a company that let that staph infection go wild. So
Exactly. I keep thinking back to that podcast with Colt Cabana and just everything, all the, geez, all the fallout that came from that, just,
I
I
love
don't know.
I love everything, by the way, with Colt Cabana on BTE, where he is like Brandon Cutler's sidekick, for lack of a better word. He's wearing like Brandon Cutler's outfit as well, but with the sleeves ripped off, and it's just great. And like Brandon's yelling at Colt like about how to do camera stuff, like Colt wasn't doing this stuff for forever.
Oh my God, that's funny.
I just love those guys. Um, but yeah, the press conference was lit as well.
I messaged you about this, but I was annoyed about Io Sky getting asked the Taylor
Taylor
Swift
Swift.
question.
Yeah.
Yes. Which, as hilarious as that rumor is, and how wild that would be, and how I would be down to watch that, to be honest, like, why the hell not? I mean, when I think about how someone like Logan Paul has really boosted, has really like boosted WWE into, I don't want to say into the mainstream, but to a different demographic completely, to a different audience.
Yeah.
I think that Taylor Swift, of course, like has a giant audience of people, and we talk about how much we want to see like more with women's wrestling. I feel like the obviously vast majority of her fan base are women. I think that would be badass, to get like more women tuned into wrestling.
Can you imagine how pissed off all the wrestling fans who haven't gotten tickets yet to WrestleMania would be when all the Swifties bought out those tickets?
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Like they would immediately go through the roof price wise and they would immediately all be gone.
Oh God, that is a really good point. That's awful. No.
And
Oh, good.
they wouldn't be able to tell anyone when the match was like airing on the card, and it would have to be the last match because as soon as it was done, all the Swifties are leaving. Unless they say like Taylor will be performing after the main event. That's the only way they're staying, and you're not gonna have like a half empty arena.
That is so true. That's wild. But anyway, I got so annoyed because you saw everyone else during that press conference get really insightful, just awesome questions, and then you just throw like at your, women's champion, like Io Sky, you just throw her that question, what about Taylor Swift? And like the just look of sheer confusion on her face and just like, what the hell? It reminded me of like those little mashups I see like I've seen them on like reels all the time where it's like the dumbest like questions that like female celebrities get in interviews, And it's like they're always just so offensive. Like I saw like Scarlett Johansson getting asked about like, do you wear underwear like when you play Black Widow to fit in that suit? And then she turned and she was like, why didn't you ask like Jeremy Renner this fucking question, I don't hear you
Yeah.
asking Hawkeye how he fits into that.
And he's got
So
more bits.
that's right. So it did chat my ass in that kind of way, to be honest, hearing her get asked that question, especially after such a great defense.
Yeah. Yeah. Her match was stellar. Um, I will say, like, in a world where Taylor Swift did any wrestling match, I like that would put Io Sky on the fucking moon on
Yeah.
like everything. She would just be everywhere. Um, Probably t-shirts made up by Swifties saying like we hate this woman. But yeah, the look of like you could just see her being like, did I hear that right at first? And then she's like, because weird things have happened before when people like say like, well, I guess I would do that. Like suddenly these things come to fruition, and I'm sure like in her mind she just saw like dollar signs.
Yeah. I mean, I think back to like when Snooki was oh, I don't know. I don't know. For me, I'm like, and you and I've talked about you mentioned Cardi B before. Like, I think that would be badass. Like, for me, I'm like, why not? Like, the more that wrestling gets like entrenched in the mainstream, I feel like the less I don't want to say the less people are going to talk shit because people within the own wrestling fandom shit on wrestling. So,
Yeah.
but I feel like opening it up like would just allow it to get to that like attitude era level again of just like massiveness. And I'm so for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm calling it this year or next year. Cardi B versus Jade WrestleMania, or Cardi being Jade's manager. I see it happening.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
I can the entrance alone would be beautiful, insane, all of the fireworks.
Oh my God, yeah. Jade has the best entrances too. And
Mhm.
like I can't even imagine like as epic as her AEW entrances were, her freaking WWE ones are gonna be insane with that level of production value.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like, and like they see her as a star. I'm sure like the second Triple H laid eyes on her, he probably just saw money exploding.
Yeah.
Like just money cannons going off.
I did think that was interesting that he addressed that. I believe it was during the Fastlane press conference as well,
Mhm.
because he got asked about Jade. And he was like, well, he's like, we've been keeping eyes on her like from the beginning. And I was like, well, technically she came through your performance center. So then she went to AEW. Like in my I couldn't help but be critical in that moment of being like, well, you kind of did have her, and then she blossomed into what she is now.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
it could have been through one of those hiring freezes or any of those things. It could have been honestly one of the things where he wanted to hire her and Vince was like, I don't see it. We have that
That's very
Bianca
true.
girl. We don't need two strong black women. Like I could see Vince saying that.
I could actually see that too. That's a really great point.
Um, but yeah, I'm so excited. Everything's gonna be coming up Cargill.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be awesome. So I did see a pretty damn funny comment on social though. It was like somebody's like, so is her gimmick just gonna be like getting out of really like nice looking cars, looking beautiful, and then getting greeted by people? That is just kind of like that is kind of funny because every time we've seen her on camera so far, that's what it's been.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But I know that they were being an ass, but at the same time, it was just like I read that and I was like, that's kind of funny though.
Hmm. Well, I mean, to be fair, she is gorgeous and gets out of cars, I'm sure, every day and is probably mobbed by people at certain places. So it's probably her life.
Yeah, that's facts. I'm so excited to see what she does.
Um, Unrelated to wrestling mostly. I was once like walking with a friend out of a club, and the band Bowling for Soup was just walking into like their tour. I I remember it as a van, but it was
Yeah.
probably a bus at that time. But I just remember like because like I locked eyes with the lead singer and like clearly recognized him, and my jaw dropped, and he just like froze like, oh God. And like there was that awkward like 5 count, and then we both just resumed what we were doing.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
So it was just like, am I about to have an awkward interaction? And it's like, no, I will just tell a podcast about this in 15 years.
Okay, I'll give something awkward then too, a similar story. So my favorite band is a band called the Bouncing Souls from New Jersey, and I adore them. And we actually flew up a few years ago, it was right before the pandemic for my birthday, to see them because I'd never seen them live because they always play East Coast. Now that they're a little bit older, they're like, we don't want to go too far from home. And or they play on a giant festival. And I was like, I don't want to like pay to see just them on like this giant card of people. And anyway, so we flew up there and it was so awesome. And we went and saw like an acoustic set. It was like a private little acoustic set that they had before the main show. So we got to see both shows. And the lead singer came and sat across from me in a booth while Ryan was in the bathroom. And I'm like never nervous to meet anybody, like at all. You know, like I've told you stories about how like I always run into Wardlow and I'm just like, what's up, Wardlow? Like I don't care. Unless it's like Danhausen or like then I just like totally felt like I shit the bed, just like, hi. Like, like but with this was like the lead singer and I literally like made it so awkward. I like crawled myself out of the booth. Like I just like scraped myself out of the booth basically. And then he like didn't even notice. He was just kind of like jamming out like to whatever the background music was playing behind us. And I like, but he didn't make eye contact with me at all. He just sat there all casually like it was nothing. He's like, oh, I'm just sitting at this booth. And I'm just like scraping myself out of there.
Oh man, that's like a sitcom moment.
Totally. Yeah, that's how it felt.
Specifically your reaction of just like I'm fading into the background, no one can see me.
Totally. Oh yeah, or like the Homer Simpson meme into the bush.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that was you going into the booth.
exactly.
um well, I guess we'll keep it on the positive stuff for now, right?
Yes.
Yes. So anyone who knows me or was on my live stream knows how very excited I was when Orange Cassidy was announced for that match, the Intercontinental title against Rey Fenix, and I was just like, haha, it must be coming back to him because someone is injured and
Yeah.
it's clearly cursed. I still think Danhausen cursed it until it would get back to Orange Cassidy.
There
And
you go.
yeah, and in all fairness, because I didn't watch the pre-show 0 hour thing to a normal Dynamite. I'm honestly say granted, but didn't do that. Especially since I just worked a 10-hour day. But MJ is the one who gave me the heads up, and I was like, yes, because I knew what that had to mean. I knew it had to mean this, but regardless, I knew it was going to be like a banger of a match, even with Rey injured. Like it was still going to be magnificent. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was great from start to finish. Obviously the finish had me very excited. Yeah, the little orange cannons going off. Sadly, there was not the image from the last one where the cannons were going off and he was holding the belt and like just that little sassy hip he had, Orange Cassidy.
Do you own that photo from the I think they have it in the AEW shop, right?
They do?
I thought they did, yeah, because it's such a cool shot.
I do not own that. I was like, I have it saved on my phone, but
That's such a great photo.
It is. And like every time I just think sassy hip.
Man, him and Pac had some of the best matches too. I haven't even heard. Do you know what's up with him?
He was injured last I heard.
Oh,
That's why he missed All In.
Oh, dang, that sucks.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, that belt really is cursed.
I know. Danhausen.
Mm-hmm.
I still think we're gonna see him at Full Gear.
I agree, especially like since we got that teaser, which was
That
so
cool
fun.
little. Ah, I loved it.
I am going to find that man on Friday. Comic-Con, not like stalking him. He's at Comic-Con. He'll be at a booth. I'm going to find that man and be like, hello, I'm taking a photo with you now. Here's money.
You gonna paint your face?
No.
Wait, who all are you meeting that day?
So I'm still going back and forth on if I want. Definitely Danhausen.
Yes.
but I don't know if I want to do Adam Cole and MJF or Britt
Mm.
Baker because I can't do all of them. I will go broke.
Yeah, fair.
But like Adam Cole and MJF, like it's not gonna. I'm worried it's not lasting much longer. So you're just like shimmy in there, but also Britt Baker.
I know. Well, I believe in the love of Britt Baker and Adam Cole, so I feel like you will have another opportunity to get them together.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe I'm putting unrealistic expectations on people I don't know in real life, but yeah, I agree with you about MJF and Adam Cole.
Yeah, Adam Cole and MJF do tend to go to every single Comic-Con in New York. Um, which is what makes me lean more towards Britt Baker. I don't know, we'll see.
But to get them both together in this time,
Same.
this era of Better
Yeah.
Than You birthday, you could get a less sassy, slightly nicer MJF.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I'm curious to know how that interaction will go. Like,
I wish I was going so bad because I would love to film you and like it would be so funny to think of like questions to have to for you to ask. Like I would love for you to be like, Adam, why have you not been picking up like Maxwell's calls lately? But you're here now. Did you guys squash that or
did Roddy finally let you out of his basement?
yeah, freaking for real. Adam.
Blink twice if you need help.
I love everything that Roddy and the Kingdom are doing right now though. It is so good.
Oh my God, that stupid giraffe. And I was like, it is the strongest neck in the animal kingdom. I was like, you know, I don't know about the strongest, but it's got the most neck. So
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so funny.
I feel like per size, like to scale, a parrot or some sort of bird, maybe an owl, probably has the strongest neck.
You know, before they said anything about the giraffe, like they were like waving it around, and I was like, what the fuck is up with the giraffe? And then it clicked. I was like, oh my God, because the neck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
Oh my God. It's I love it all so very much. There was of course another title change last night, being Saraya losing to Sheeta.
Yes.
And like I love the holy Sheeta chants.
Yes.
I'm and like as I was listening to everything that was happening, like I'm kind of not surprised that they had her win because like the crowd is going bananas for Sheeta the past like month and a half, I want to say. Like her
Yeah.
momentum's really chugging away, but it
Hmm.
makes it seem like Saraya only got the belt for Wembley.
Yeah. It is kind of odd. And I was thinking about that earlier too. Like if we will ever see Soraya with the belt again, or if this was really just to kind of like cement such a momentous occasion in her life, you know, to be like that really big milestone moment for her.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really curious because before that, you and I had talked about, I know on our prediction show, we've been like, will Saraya win it? Like she is going to be in London, but it's also like her presence in the women's division has felt very minimal, you know? Obviously, she's in the Outcast, which is like, you know, a female faction, but that's kind of in the air now, as of right now, of course. But back then, I don't
Mhm.
know. It's been just odd, you know?
I will say, I do feel like being champ elevated Soraya and like
Yes.
her she showed up to work and was just like, I can't dick around. Not that she was like, I can phone it in at the beginning either, but like she was rusty. And that rust, she shook it all off for
Yeah.
Wesley. And like it stayed gone. Like she has been doing solid work. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. I wish because she didn't really have like a rivalry or anything or and I wish there was that. I mean, there's the stuff going on with Toni Storm where she's Delulu, but that's just Toni Storm now. And I think it's fun. Like, I don't think Toni Storm needs to be in the title picture. I think she is someone who doesn't need the title with this character. Like,
Sure.
absolutely, let her do stuff without a title and against someone who is not the champion, so we can start seeing women's matches happen on pay-per-views that are not championship based.
Yes. And you and I talked about this before too, about how even during like Jamie Hayter's run, who Jamie was just like so hot when she was champion, like on fire. Like they could have done anything with her storyline wise, and it would have elevated the other person. It would have elevated the women's division more, than it already was with her just having the belt in general. And so even that title run was tarnished in that way, that she didn't really get any cool rivalries, and like her pay-per-view matches were always announced last minute. And it was just kind of like, well, let's just throw in one of the outcasts or throw in whatever, it was sucky.
Yeah. And like sometimes like AEW will do this where they're like, we're not necessarily going to focus on storylines. We're going to focus on cool matches that people want to see. And that works sometimes, but it can't
Right.
be an entire title run. Like there has to be a rivalry happening there. Look at like one of the best championship runs they've had recently with Orange Cassidy. He had several like rivalries happening within that, and it made it better.
And even the way like with Orange with the belt, the time they gave him with it, like, and like the TV time, the screen time they gave him even with the belt alone and with the promo work he was allowed to do. And you saw him kind of course, his natural lovably apathetic character, even with the belt. And then you saw when he was getting more like ingrained with the title run itself, that he was like, damn, I really care about this belt, in his own Orange Cassidy way. Not a direct quote in any way, but and then when he lost it, he was obviously just like, damn, I really did love this thing, and it's gone and I want it back. And that road even was getting to that realization for him with his character was gradual even, and it was cool. It's nice that like he got to like feel out that whole whatever, the ups and downs of the title itself. And so it would be cool to give that kind of time to women for anything, just to establish something. Yeah.
For anything, literally
For
anything.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like what you said, how Tony doesn't need a belt, because what she's doing and the time she has on TV is so damn funny and like engaging, and like everybody's loving what she's doing right now. And most people, myself included, are saying this is the greatest thing she's done so far in her career, like the most like
100%.
magnetic and just awesome. So just, you got to give people time. You got a great roster of people.
Yeah. I will say she has stolen Queen Zelina's shoe, but she's trying to do something different with the shoe, but it's borrowed.
Did you see that she's even like black and white on the poster for like Dynamite? Oh my God, that cracked me up so much.
It's like what were they? The Vaudevillains that WWE had like forever ago.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh, yeah.
But yeah, I'm loving what she's doing. Something that I did not love. Her partner in real life is Juice Robinson, and
Yeah.
I've been saying that like I can kind of see how they go together now that she is timeless Toni Storm and he is same old Juice Robinson. Although, so for those who don't know, on Dynamite last night, Juice Robinson decided to say it was so anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
So MJF has talked before about being bullied in school, and I feel like bullied is like putting it mildly. Like if you're throwing quarters at someone and like saying hateful racial or ethnic things at them, that's taking a step beyond bullying.
Yes, absolutely.
Um, but so what Juice Robinson did was he had a roll of quarters, and he wrote Friedman on it. And I was like, not MJF. No. Like, you went the most like problematic way you could. And with the week that we've had in the world, like, it was terrible timing. I think you and I both said immediately, like, who said this was okay?
Right.
Like this was not good. Like, I know, like, some people are making the argument that it's bringing to, like, because I guess MJF is talking at an event for Stop Jewish Hate, I think on the 18th or something like that next week. Or he's doing something soon where he's speaking to them, but like the way I feel about it, because like clearly MJF said it was fine to do.
Yeah.
But
Otherwise he would have walked out.
yeah,
There would be no, yeah.
yeah. Um, but like clearly other people in the Jewish community are not feeling that way necessarily. And
Right.
it's kind of like you can't just ask your one, like, just because you have your one black friend that lets you say the N-word doesn't mean it's okay for you to do it, and you should not be doing it.
Right.
So like even if they pulled like every Jewish person in that company, they probably should have like they like if you're having to question something like that, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. It felt like cheap heat. 100%. It was just like, what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm. It reminded me so much of like the bad stuff from the Attitude Era.
100%. Yeah.
And like
But
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it didn't feel real watching it. It felt like almost a fever dream. I was like, I literally had to like go back and like look at the clip again later because I was like, this didn't happen, right? Like, did I like? I almost like was like gaslighting myself. I was like, did I like not like did I mishear something? Because I was like, there's no fucking way they would have done that, right? And I rewatched it. I was like, no, it's exactly how I remembered it going down.
Yeah. And like I can't, as a performer, like I can't, like, Juice Robinson had to be okay with doing that. Like that
Yeah,
to some people, like from this point on, that's what he'll be known for. Like, period. Like there are some people that that's going to like really upset, and they're just going to be like, "Oh, the anti-Semitic guy." Like that's just what they're going to remember him for. Will that be a majority of people? Probably not. Wrestling fans typically have the brain span of like a goldfish who has swam into the wall too many times. But like, oh, oh,
yeah. And it sucks too, because I felt like everything that they were doing was so natural with a build between Bullet Club Gold and MJF. And so it's just like, why? Why? It just felt so unnecessary. You didn't need to do that.
yeah. I feel like it actually pulled attention from like what they were trying to do.
Do you remember 2 weeks ago in the crowd where somebody had a sign in like the second row or something like that and it said MJF, I dropped a quarter?
Yes.
Do you think that that was a plant or do you think it was some real fan that had a sign like that? Because if it was a real fan, would he have been allowed to have held that sign as long as he did? And I wouldn't have thought maybe there's a possibility of him being a plant until I saw this last night. And then it kind of made me go, was that to, especially after you just mentioned like the event on what, the 18th, that so I'm like, is this like giving like conversation points? Like, I don't know.
It's funny because like at no point have I had I considered that this person might be a plant. If anything, like I wonder if someone saw that sign and they were like, "Oh, perfect. I know what Juice say this," or Juice Robinson was like, "Haha, let me say this
Mhm.
terrible thing." Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons, like maybe I don't click with Juice Robinson. I've finally gotten over the weird proportions of his face, and um but like I think it's because he has that like throwback to like parts of the Attitude Era that I don't jive with. Like, I don't know.
That's interesting you say that because I do kind of feel like Juice Robinson gives off almost like a DX vibe sometimes, like that vibe, like that
X-Pac
feel. Yeah,
specifically, and I don't like X-Pac.
that's fair.
Not just ugh. I know. Did I ever tell you about the time that like I was meeting Billy Gunn, but X-Pac was standing next to him?
Mm, no.
So a fun thing about me, I don't like mucus. And yes, this plays a role in this story. Like I don't like mucus. Like if someone hawks a loogie, like I gag. It's not,
Yeah.
I can't. Well, once I worked with a kid who while he was at daycare and there was snot and it was bad. I almost threw up everywhere. Anyway,
Oh,
so at a wrestling convention, meeting Billy Gunn, getting autograph, and I see X-Pac, who is next to him. I think well, he's sober. Like I think he at this point he had gotten sober. And like
yeah.
I watched him like as Billy is like signing, huck a loogie into his own shirt like this. Like,
Oh.
and I was like, oh, okay.
Mm.
Mm, no.
Oh. Oh God.
And like nobody around him was faced. My guess is because this is normal behavior for him. Um, yeah. And like I'd heard when I was a kid about when like before the Attitude Era really hit, when he was still the 1, 2, 3 kid, um
Yeah.
WWF was around here a lot, and in our smaller, like it's now the YMCA um venue, but it was a venue that they would come to sometimes, and he would refuse, like as a baby face, to sign like little kids autographs and stuff like that. He wouldn't do it, and he was always just like rude to fans.
Oh wow, that sucks.
Yeah. So yeah, super gross, man.
Oh yeah.
So that was my X-Pac story.
I would have like possibly thrown up if that happened next to me.
Yeah, I almost did. Billy Gunn looked so annoyed that whole, and you know, because I've said before that he was like really annoyed that day, and maybe that's why. Maybe that's why he was sitting next to his friend who kept hawking loogies into his own shirt. I'd be pretty annoyed about that.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, it was bad day,
Oh, that's
bad moment.
gross.
Yeah, yeah. So I get those vibes from Juice Robinson.
Oh God. That I'm not gonna tangent, but that it reminds me of when I met Billy Corgan, which was a traumatizing. I don't know if I ever told the story about when I met Billy Corgan. I'll
Nope.
just save that one for a rainy day. It's
I'm so
traumatizing.
intrigued now.
I literally will not watch NWA because Billy Corgan is a owner.
I want to know how long is this story?
Um okay, I'll tell it. I'll tell it. I just don't want us to run out of time for anything else.
Okay.
So I growing up, Smashing Pumpkins was like one of my favorite bands, hands down. Which is funny because when I tell people that, they think I'm older than I am, but I always just listen to bands from like whatever, like early 90s, 80s. Like I
Mhm.
was always really into like 90s alternative and like a lot of 70s punk and stuff too. But so I waited in the rain outside of Powell's bookstore to get his like poetry book signed. And I was so excited. And I went inside and there were these two women in front of me who were twins who were just gorgeous, like gorgeous twin sisters that were meeting him. And they were like, we he's like, I'm a Pisces. I like things in twos. He's like, so I have a hotel room, and he was just like totally like laying on all the charm all thick. And then he was just staring off at them, even after like he left and I was standing in front of him. And then I was like, oh my God, like Billy Corgan, like you're like one of my favorite musicians. Like I love like your writing really inspires my writing because I've been a songwriter for however so long,
Mhm.
And he yeah, okay. And then like that was just like it. And then like I was just like, what? And meanwhile he was still staring off having a conversation with like these hot twins. Maybe he's a Gemini and he says why I like things in twos. Because when he said Pisces, that doesn't make sense. I don't
Oh
know. But
yeah.
anyway. But yeah.
That
So every
sucks.
so yeah. So every time Smashing Pumpkins comes on, I'm just like, ooh, could someone turn this?
I'm sorry. That blows.
I know. Waited in the rain just to like see like your childhood hero just creep on women and ignore you.
That sounds like a song.
That rock star mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that I'm so sorry that that happened to you.
I know.
It really
It's
puts my X-Pac Hawk and Loogies into a shirt story to shame.
oh man. It's all right. I've had really great like meeting actual wrestlers, never had a bad experience. You
I
know that meeting the best friends was my only like odd experience, but that was honestly funny, so it's
yeah.
like whatever. But
I
that was the only one that was odd.
There's no one that I ever intentionally met because I was not intentionally meeting X-Pac. There is no like that was a bad experience. Everything else was very
Yeah.
positive. But yeah. Or at least like middle of the road, nothing like terribly negative.
Sure, sure.
But so I think the only other thing we really had that we wanted to talk about was the Swerve versus I almost said Danhausen Danielson match. I would love though to see Swerve versus Darkhausen. Can you imagine him being like
Oh, I mean, I know now I'm in a tangent about Danhausen, but that vignette that we saw on Rampage totally obviously like leaned towards Darkhausen, just the way that it was showcasing everything. And the last time that we saw Darkhausen was Full Gear. Well, the first and last time we saw him. So makes me want to be there even more. I don't know. I think that's where we're gonna see him.
I wish Full Gear was in New Jersey this year.
I know. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, me. Ugh. I will get over the fact that like yes, AEW is coming to Philly, but it is like and during my birth month. However, they're coming so Wednesday, but that Thursday I'm presenting at the Rural Human Trafficking Health Summit, and it's 4 hours in the opposite direction of Philly. Because I was like, oh, it's
Oh,
fine. Like if it's just like an hour or two, like whatever, I'll totally do that. No, I can't
yeah.
do 4 hours. Like
No.
after an AEW show and then get up and have to like be a human in front of a large group of other humans. Like I can't do that.
No, that'd be awful.
Yeah. Be like me, everyone. Do the good things. Use the screening tool. Ma'am, get off the stage. I don't know why we gave you a microphone.
I applaud that responsibility.
I don't.
You're like, I hate it.
Mhm. Yeah, I really do. I really do. So, hopefully they'll come back to Philly soon.
Yes. I'm excited someday for you and I to get to watch a show together.
Yes.
I will make the trip or we will meet in the middle. We will figure something out.
We'll figure something out. Yeah. Yeah, when they were coming to Erie, and you had said that, I was like, ooh, I wonder if I can make this work. And then I looked at my like work schedule the next day and I was like, spoiled again.
That's funny.
They're not
We'll
my
get
work
there.
schedule, just my life schedule. But yeah,
Doing big things, doing big things.
yes. I don't like being responsible.
But
which
you
is,
help so many people and you're so good at what you do.
oh, thank you. What I was so my version of being irresponsible, this one, I was like, I don't like being responsible, which is why I just put in another application. Well, not another. Why I just put in an application to adopt another cat. Like,
Did you really?
yes.
Oh
Um,
my God. That's
this,
exciting.
this is the first time in my life I haven't had a tuxedo cat. Um,
Oh,
and like, my heart wasn't ready for another one after my Jasper died almost 2 years ago. But Dobby, who, if you've watched or listened to this podcast, you've definitely heard and or seen him. If you're ever on any of my streams, you definitely hear him. Or get away from the tripod, cat. That's Dobby. Um, he desperately misses having a cat to snuggle with and play with. Because like
oh,
Scarlet, it's not an option. Scarlet likes humans, does not like other cats at all. She
yeah.
loves Jasper, but Jasper's gone now, and everyone can fuck right off. That's not him. And then Cranberry will let Dobby snuggle on her, but only if I'm involved. Like, because there's only so much room on my lap. And like he
Yeah.
snuggles up to her and her face just gets grumpy. And she like deals with it, but she's not happy about it. So um
Oh,
this cat came up. It's a male, which I would have to get because Scarlet and Cranberry both do not want another female cat. They've made that very clear. And so it's a male cat, Tuxedo. He's been there for over a year and a half,
oh
and
wow.
he is like the greeter of the group. He likes other cats. So I was like, this sounds perfect. Give me this cat.
So with that, will they do like a meet and greet thing just to see how he fits with all of you, or how does that work?
No, because I've adopted them from them before.
Oh,
So
okay.
like I'm a reliable adopter. So like I'll go and meet him, and then like
Mhm.
if we vibe, he's half off until my birthday. That's what really pushed me over the edge. I'm like,
Yeah.
really? On my Up until my birthday, I can get him for like $40. Sure.
Aw, it was meant to be. That's so cute.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll we'll see if it's meant to be if I come home with this cat or not. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to doing introductions. Like that's a whole thing with cats. Like it's weeks of like keeping them by themselves until and like moving stuff around. And when I was a kid, my mother would just like yeet them at each other and then let everything
Ooh,
shake out. Yeah.
isn't that the noise Cody made to Jay? Like you trying to. Oh,
It was like a dog bark.
oh. I feel like that's like I'm trying not to do as much Brody King though, like the whoo. That's
Oh
like a
yeah.
softer, Yeah.
Whew. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, we'll have to rewatch it and practice. Oh
Yeah.
my God, we should do a video where we're doing that. Yeet.
Yeet. That's all this thing's gonna be titled. Yeet. Just have to figure out how to spell
Yeeting, roughing, and cats,
yeet
and a
your
little
rough
bit of
cat.
and a little bit of wrestling in parentheses.
Things have gone on. You know, we've been really good lately about staying on wrestling. So this one's just the we're going off the rails, apparently.
We were overdue.
Yeah. So Swerve losing to not Danhausen, I almost said again. Danielson. Let's talk about it. I guess that can be what we can use to wrap everything up.
Well, in all fairness, everyone loses compared to Danhausen. But anyway, back to the. I was shocked by that. I really thought that it was going to be Swerve,
Mm-hmm.
especially after the last press conference when he was sitting next to Tony and like them really talking about like alluding to his like upcoming championship run.
Yeah.
Because I think that he could be, well, in my jumping back, I actually really thought when I first started watching AEW, I was like, Keith Lee is going to be the first black AEW world champion. Like, I really thought, and I also, but I'm biased because I'm a huge Keith Lee fan too. So I was really like, this is gonna happen.
And then there was a
Which is,
ball that they dropped.
I know, it was crazy. And it is really, speaking of crazy, it's insane that like AEW's been around for 4 years and we haven't had a black champion. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I digress. But I really thought that when they were talking about that, when I instantly saw Swerve and Danielson on this card, and it was going to be like a number one contenders match for the TNT title, literally, like if I would have like bet in Vegas, which is a good thing I don't, because I literally would have put all my money on Swerve winning this thing.
That's like the second time in 2 weeks that you're like, I would have lost big in Vegas. I would have lost it all. Yeah, no, I definitely thought he was winning. I think it made sense that he lost because of Hangman's interference, like that there had to be like
Yeah.
something. I also thought we saw Hangman 3 times yesterday, like on Dynamite
Mm,
3 times. And I was like, are they making up for like not letting him on the show for so long? Like, is that
yeah.
what we're seeing here? It's just like we're 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 gonna punch your card a few times to make up for this. There you go.
I didn't even think about that till you said that. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and I liked there was kind of that storyline throughout the card from the very beginning to like the middle-ish to the end, like the Swerve and Hangman.
Mhm.
Although again, one of the things that makes me the happiest whenever I see Swerve is Swerve when I drive. And
Prince Nana.
Anna, yeah,
Totally.
love that man. Ridiculous.
Me too.
Um,
I oh, go ahead.
oh no, go ahead. I'm
I was just g- I was just gonna I was just gonna kind of conclude my point by saying that like I just want to see Swerve as a champion of anything. I love heel Swerve. Give me heel Swerve all day long.
yeah. I love that like heel Swerve is deranged.
Yes. Yes.
Like, and not in a goofy way. Like, I think a lot of times when we see deranged in wrestling, it's woohoo, I'm crazy. What am I gonna do?
You crazy girl. You
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. That's what we see. And he's like, no, I'm not crazy, but I'm going to rip off your kneecaps and make them into hood ornaments. Like just like
Yeah.
scary shit. That's what I see from him.
Yeah, but I want to see more of that. Hearing you say that, like, do you remember how badass and dark that whole promo was against the Acclaimed when they had Billy Gunn in the back room with like
Yep.
with the pliers or whatever? That is so sick, and I want to see more of that. And
Yeah.
I think it's almost like very like Prince Nana. It like gives me almost like Harley Quinn and Joker vibes because Prince Nana's just like doing a little happy like dance and then Swerve's just like this dark villain coming out, you know? I want to
Hmm.
see them play up the evilness side more on Swerve because I think that's gonna just push him to the moon.
Yeah. I agree. And like also, and I talk about his stupid coat that I love so much, but talking about a villain, like it is a statement piece. And
Yeah.
just like I want to see some kids or like, people I want that costume. I want to see that out and about. I want to see it on like social media because that is a villain. That yes. What a great like friend costume though, like Swerve and Prince Nana. Like fantastic.
Yes.
That would be great to go to a party and see that.
Okay, that would also be a hilarious couples costume.
It would be. Yeah. And I would definitely fight to be Swerve.
Oh my God, that's so good. Are you gonna do a wrestling inspired Halloween costume or
I am not. I'm actually, so me and my one friend are doing a friend costume, and we're going as Phil and Lil from the Rugrats.
Oh, cute.
And then Cheddar and I are doing Jack and Sally,
Oh, cool.
because I already had the Sally dress, because that's who I am as a person. And they had on Chewy a doggy Jack Skellington costume. So gonna be doing that.
I love it. That's so cool.
Yes. I told my friends that Cheddar likes that we are having a doggy Halloween gathering, because
Mhm.
Cheddar and I want to show off our costumes. So
Aw, that's cool.
Cheddar,
Love that.
yeah, Cheddar just likes the attention, but
Does Cheddar enjoy dressing up?
he doesn't mind it. He's wearing a sweater right now. Cheddar. He's laying on the couch. Yep, here you go. Come here, Chetty. Come here. Sit up.
Cheddar.
Yeah.
Oh
Has
my
like a little hood.
goodness.
It's a Darth Vader hoodie. But I can't back up any further. That's like, ugh. Come here, you. I wonder if I can.
Anyone who has not heard how badass Cheddar's bark is, last night on the stream, Cheddar let out. Oh my god, that is so cute. Yeah, that's adorable.
He does not like being picked up. Yeah. Yeah, no, he is. That's not even his I'm angry bark. That's just his warning bark. His angry bark is something.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, the one guy on the stream was just like, he sounds like you have some good protection there. And I was like, you have no idea. Yes. Yes. Thank you for being so nice to model your hoodie. But yeah, he has an entire wardrobe.
Nice.
Yeah.
So does Freddie. I took his off though because he was melting.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
well, he got it dirty too. I was trying to pick it up because, we're up here at the res today and it's like a dust bowl right now. And it's like the wind is crazy. And so Freddie jumps down and I'm like, no, because he's wearing his little leopard print jammies. I gotta send you a photo. But then if he of course flops before I can I'm trying to get him in time and he plops down and just like boom, like this thing of dust just consumes his pajamas.
Oh, you're probably like, damage.
I know. I was like, I just took it out today for him to wear, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the high today was like, I think 62 here. So it's cheddar sweater weather.
That is adorable. If you have not hashtag that needs to be a hashtag.
Right? As I said that, I was just like, wow.
You should do like a photo with like montages of Cheddar in different sweaters and then put text on it that says Cheddar sweater weather is here.
I like that. Because he has quite a few. Which is carried on from my dog Cairo, Cheddar's older, now deceased brother, was a Basenji mix. So they're an Egyptian breed.
Yes.
Having no business in northeastern Pennsylvania. So like he did not like being outside in the winter because it was so cold. So like I got him a variety of shirts and sweaters and everything, and he loved everything. His favorite thing was this like pink lamb.
Oh.
Or I mean, it's a teddy bear, but it always reminded me of a lamb because like that's what the texture kind of was like, wool.
The sheer kind of, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So then when I got Cheddar, I was just like, I think you need some sweaters too.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, Cheddar. Yeah. Is there anything else that you would like to chat about this evening?
Nope, I think we covered everything and then some.
Yeah. All righty. Well, we shall do our sign up, and soon I imagine we will unveil a nice little graphic that I created about our Lord and Savior John Cena.
Yes.
But as we always do, we shall end this podcast in the name of our
Lord and Savior,
John
John Cena.
Cena. Hustle, loyalty,
Loyalty
and respect. Yabba do.
Yabba-do.